Hey everybody, this is my official predictions video for Season 2 of Stranger Things. I've had all kinds of ideas as what twists and turns Season 2 might bring, but some ideas are more likely than others, so stuff I have very little to support will go on my Season 2 wishlist video, which I will post shortly after this one. Now before I really dive into the main topic of this video, I have to explain why I believe Will is going to become such a serious threat, so serious that Hopper feels the need to seek out Eleven in order to stop him. Now in the quick glimpses we get from the teaser trailer, it is clear that Will still has some connection to the Upside Down, and more specifically, some connection to the large creature we see on the horizon, a creature which I've theorized many times is the Thessalhydra. Now the Duffer Brothers have confirmed that Will is still seeing visions, but it's not clear if they are hallucinations, premonitions, or actual glimpses into real-time events occurring in the same location, but in a different dimension. But based on Will's presence at Hawkins' labs in the Season 2 teaser, it really seems like he may be suffering from additional symptoms. Let's just say that Hawkins' labs had previously left the door open for Joyce to bring Will back should he need special attention. If something was wrong with Will and Joyce had to seek someone out for help, would she even go to Hawkins after all they did to bury the truth about her son? It's hard to say, but I'm leaning toward no. If Will is only suffering from recurring visions, wouldn't she just write it off as some kind of PTSD and take him to an unrelated psychiatrist? But really, for them to even bother putting him in a medical gown, they'd have to recognize he has some tangible, testable problem for them to study. Taking all of this into account, it really seems like there may be some additional symptom that Will can't hide from Joyce, something that is impossible to ignore and may be literally shaking the foundation of the Byers household. If we're assuming that Joyce is still mad at Hawkins' labs, what event could be going on in her house that is so jarring, so outside the normal range of medical science, that she would have no choice but to bring Will back to the very people she hates? For me, I think the most likely symptom Will is experiencing is telekinesis. Who would be better suited to monitor telekinesis on the spot than the people who had just spent 12 years monitoring Eleven? It's pretty obvious to me that due to Will's time in the Upside Down, possibly because he was momentarily dead, that he has brought back more than a slug from the Upside Down. I think Will is becoming dangerous and a threat to Joyce and Jonathan. I'm not sure which form this will take. I'd love it if this danger was entirely unconscious, like Will does not intend to do it, but he simply can't control it. It would be awesome if whenever Will slept, his creative mind would produce creature manifestations or tulpas within the real world, which would keep attacking Jonathan and Joyce as they slept. But honestly, the most likely thing that is occurring within the Byers home is, when Will sleeps, he has horrible nightmares which produce telekinetic side effects all around the Byers home. Now imagine a scene where Joyce wakes up in the middle of the night, staring blankly at her ceiling, trying to get back to sleep, only for some random object to float across her field of vision. And she jerks up out of bed, totally shocked. I'm sure she'd be wide awake after that. Then Joyce walks into Will's room and finds everything floating, only for it to come crashing down as soon as he wakes up. Now that, if that was happening, that would be enough for Joyce to justify bringing Will back to Hawkins' labs. If Season 2 doesn't go down this path, I believe it would be a wasted opportunity. Most notably because we're likely to go half the season without significant screen time from Eleven, and I needs my superpower fix. I think Will may become a kind of unwitting villain in the next season, one powerful enough that only Eleven can stop him without killing him. In fact, this leads me to my first prediction for Season 2. Will is the source of the storm. I think Will becomes possessed by the Thessalhydra, turning him into a floating telekinetic atom bomb, which is unleashed on Hawkins. Seriously, how awesome would it be to see Will floating around Hawkins on Halloween night in a Ghostbusters outfit, tearing the town to pieces, throwing cars like softballs as red light emanates from him and waves of trash and debris circle around him. They better have a scene where an unsuspecting parent opens the door for trick-or-treaters and finds Will floating there, briefly mistaking it for an elaborate costume. I hope it's the science teacher, right before Will telekinetically throws him out the back wall of his house. I think these Ghostbusters costumes may hint to this kind of ghostly activity in Season 2 as well. It would certainly pair nicely with them. Now my second prediction is Eleven will be forced to go up against Will in a tragic mirror of the Season 1 finale. Doesn't that sound like a fight for the ages? As long and entertaining as a fight like this could be, I really think it will only come down to a single moment where they face each other, much like the Season 1 finale. Though I don't think either of them will die, Eleven will probably find a way to snap Will out of it, possibly by offering herself up to the Hydra in his place. Now, it's possible that 11 was the goal of the Thessalhydra all along, though I will discuss another possibility shortly. Now, this would provide a new tragic circumstance for 11. She spent much of the last season locating Will and caring for his safety. She would now be presented with the choice of killing Will to save herself and the world, or giving herself up to spare Will and again become a used object in a greater scheme of someone else's design. On one hand, by killing Will, she'd also be ruining the lives of Joyce and Jonathan, not to mention the lives of her friends, especially Mike, who would totally be holding back the kisses and compliments from now on, and she can't have that. On the other hand, she must be incredibly lonely and wants to find a stable life with friends and family. It's like a lose-lose for her. The only way to circumvent both of these options is to face the Thessalhydra directly. Now, my third prediction is Hopper goes into the Upside Down to bring 11 back. After Will becomes the source of the storm, Hopper can't bring himself to shoot Will because that's Joyce's son. So he has to go find 11 to use her powers to intervene, which is possibly a suggestion of Mike's, and Hopper doesn't see any other way. Okay, now I've thought a lot about this and analyzed how the shots from the teaser may line up with the episode titles from Season 2, and this is what I think happens. Early in Season 2, Hopper keeps getting calls of disturbances at a cabin in the woods. He goes to check it out, and everything looks fine. But while he's there, a massive invisible force throws objects at Hopper, driving him and the owner out of the cabin. Now, the cabin owner would be convinced his cabin has recently become haunted, but Hopper has other ideas which he keeps to himself. Later, once Will goes supernova on Hawkins, Hopper realizes he needs to go find 11. She's the only way to stop Will without killing him. Now, this makes a lot of sense. If someone is going to get 11 out of hiding, nobody has more experience than Hopper in exploring the Upside Down and bringing people back. So he returns to Hawkins' labs and barges his way in, convinces them to let him re-enter the now massive gate, which they agree to so long as he manages to stop the mayhem and cover up as much as possible after it is over. Then cutscene to Hopper standing with his back to us before the door opens and Hopper turns, revealing his flamethrower. A nice step up from the gun he brought last time. If I get to see Hopper turning around holding a flamethrower in this moment, I am going to be smiling ear to ear. He doesn't have much time, but he has a good idea where to look. Then he goes straight to the upside down version of the haunted cabin he previously investigated. A secret cabin, where he finds 11, hiding from the Thessalhydra. She was previously trying to scare people out of the right side up version of the cabin from the other side. Now remember that while in the Upside Down, Joyce could hear Jonathan whisper in the same location across dimensions. This makes me think that 11 could hear the cabin owner making noise from the other dimension, and she wanted some peace and quiet, so she was just trying to scare him off. I love this because it's a very fast way to move the story along. Hopper gets to use his detective skills. We don't have to watch him wander aimlessly in the Upside Down for 3 episodes, looking for 11. Especially after the audience has already possibly seen her in that cabin if she gets her own storyline. Although honestly, as much as I'd love for 11 to be in every episode, if they could manage to hold back her reveal until Hopper finds her, that would be pretty cool. Now I think this is very good setup and payoff kind of writing, Hopper doesn't just randomly pick the right house. His intuition told him where to look based on a strange and unexplained earlier scene. Then Hopper tries to convince 11 to come back with him. I'm thinking we might get a cliche scene where Hopper says something like, "Your friends need you, don't let them down," to which Elle replies, "No, I just can't." And then Hopper is forced to leave her alone, which is the cause of her scene in the teaser when she curls up against the wall and cries out of guilt and fear. I'm thinking Hopper is on his way back without her and will be surrounded by monsters, too many to handle with his flamethrower. Or I don't know, maybe one of his tanks runs out of fuel and 11 will have to save him from off screen, while he tries to open the valve on the other tank. I don't know if that's accurate for flamethrowers. I just know he has at least the 2 tanks we can see, and it would make for a very tense moment with Hopper caught defenseless while monsters bear down on him from all directions. Now, we've already seen 11 save someone from off screen before, so this is totally the kind of thing that she'd do. It is kind of cliche, but I think it would be a great character development moment for 11, especially if she said something like, "Let's get this over with," as she walked by Hopper, but in a little girl's voice. It'd be nice just to see 11 talk more. I mean, she's had a year to herself, and though her isolation may have made her more withdrawn, I think it's possible it's made her incredibly lonely and desperate to talk to anyone about anything, which would be great to see, honestly. She must be tired of being used, though, so I think it would be great to see her a little more verbally rebellious in Season 2. She will be 13 now, so she can't be a teenage girl if she doesn't act like one. I really think that Hopper will seek 11 out with the intention of bringing her back to face Will, because, Hopper can't know anything about the Thessalhydra if Will is the cause of the storm, but I'm thinking that 11 will have other plans, which leads me to my next prediction. 11 and Hopper will go on a quest to face the brain. Now, based on the fact that the episode immediately after the secret cabin is The Brain, it makes me think that 11 says something like, "I can't stop Will, I have to stop the brain," which I previously theorized is a nod to the hive mind that is the still-rooted Thessalhydra. It makes me think that Hopper and 11 will journey to the depths of the library to face the Thessalhydra, which has yet to uproot itself. This would seem so much like a D&D quest. I swear all of geek culture would share one simultaneous orgasm on Halloween night. This scene in the library would also be very similar to the scene in Aliens when Ripley enters the Queen's Nest. Now, I don't think the Duffer Brothers could resist the opportunity to make this Aliens homage. And Hopper is even holding a flamethrower, so it would be pretty much the same. This journey would give Hopper and 11 a lot of time to talk and bond. Maybe they keep saving each other's lives. Maybe we'll even get some dialogue which hints to the possibility that 11 is actually his daughter. Then I think the meeting with the Hydra will go badly, which will be the cause of the Thessalhydra uprooting itself and marching toward the gate, which Hopper and 11 will try to chase after, setting up the final episode when the Thessalhydra finally breaks through to the right side up. The unfortunate part of this is that 11 may not actually get to face off against Will in a Chronicle-style battle for the ages, which, it kind of sucks, but I do think we'll get at least that one moment where they face each other. The Hydra could even be using Will like a puppet, maybe even to translate some level of English in front of everyone, finally revealing what it wanted all along, which Will says within earshot of Dustin, leading to my final prediction. Now for my fifth and final prediction, I think there might be something to my Lost Slug Brother theory video. I think that theory provides the smoothest wrap-up possible for Season 2, allowing for the show to easily slide into Season 3 without Hawkins being turned into a permanent quarantine zone or wasteland. I might have done things differently, but I think that is how Season 2 will end. You could say that if the Thessalhydra was only after its baby slug or pollywog, why would it be using Will? Well, it seemed pretty content to stay firmly rooted underground for years, didn't it? It's only now that the Demogorgon is dead and this baby slug has been taken that it feels the need to finally uproot itself and go on the offensive. It could be using Will as an unwitting covert agent to further this end, tearing the town apart looking for this lost pollywog. Will is the one who essentially took the slug in the first place. By attempting to draw Will back to the Upside Down, it could be hoping for him to bring the slug back with him. This is the kind of thing that may be difficult to communicate telepathically and through a language barrier. Now, it could be searching his mind for information about the slug's location, but Will has no idea where it is, only that it went down the drain. Realizing that, the Hydra would be forced to use Will's body to find it. If Will has been away from his friends lately because of the extensive tests Hawkins Labs are running, he might not know about the pollywog Dustin finds. You gotta remember that Will is the only one who knows about the slug he coughed up, something that he may not be able to confess after he's fully consumed by the Thessalhydra's mind. Dustin may leave the pollywog at home and forget to tell Will about it when they go trick-or-treating, or maybe telling Will about the pollywog is what sets the storm off in the first place, from within Will. It seems like it'll be up to Will's friends to figure out where Dustin's pet pollywog came from and bring it back to the gate in the Mirkwood area before the Thessalhydra finally breaks through and turns our dimension into a new Upside Down. This sounds like such a fun course for Season 2 to take. I mean, in the same way 11 showed up mysteriously, this pollywog does as well, just as unwilling to spill the beans about his past as 11 was, but, obviously for different reasons. Well, this concludes my Season 2 predictions video. I urge you to check out my Lost Slug Brother video, entitled Season 2 is Season 1 Upside Down. It really dives deep into this final prediction. Now, I will be releasing another Stranger Things video soon, which is my Season 2 wishlist. I'm not saying the events in that video are incredibly likely to happen, but I do suggest some possible new characters and threats that would really expand our knowledge of life in the Upside Down. It's a wishlist after all, so it's full of items that I would just really enjoy seeing. I will be posting that video very soon, so be sure to subscribe and also turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Oh, I also just started a Patreon page, which I linked in the description, so if you like my content, please consider contributing. Any contribution would be really appreciated. So what do you think of my predictions, I really enjoy connecting these kinds of dots, and I think I might have gotten some stuff right here. What do you think? Am I wrong? Tell me what you think will happen in Season 2.
Let me know in the comments below, and hit me up on Twitter at Planet Calvin. Let me know what you think. I'm really interested. Be sure to subscribe for more content like this, and thanks for watching.